If I could go back to my early 20s and find a video that would tell me exactly what I needed to know to make a six-figure income, well, I would hope that this would be the video that I would find. There are definitely more than a handful of videos here on YouTube telling you the habits of millionaires. But listen, there's levels to this. Before you can ever get to earning 7 figures, you first have to learn how to earn 6 figures. Now, this video is not hypothetical and it's not theoretical. These are literally the changes that I had to make to level up my earning potential to the 6 figures. Now, I've spent the last 13 years working alongside wealthy entrepreneurs, as well as building my own businesses and growing my own income. And today, I'm gonna teach you the 5 habits that you need to adopt to level up your finances to the 6 figures. And honestly, I will bet that there's a few habits that we're gonna discuss that you never would have expected. The first habit that I had to adopt to jump into the 6 figures was continuous and daily self-education. And this self-education came from several different sources, including reading books, taking courses online, and even seeking out experts and having conversations. So let's talk about the first one, which I think is the most important, and that's reading books. And I'm not talking about picking up your cell phone and reading some article that you found on Twitter. I'm talking about reading books, real books, the physical kind that has pages in them. Because as a culture, we've seemed to have replaced reading books with browsing our cell phones. And I think that we've kind of given away some of our power as we've done that. Because reading has some really crazy impacts on how we think and how we live. According to a study by Emory University, reading can lead to changes in the brain that last days after you finish the book. In a study by Rush University Medical Center, it was found that reading can help prevent cognitive decline among adults as we age. But as a culture, we absolutely suck at reading. The average reading level among American adults is only 8th grade, and 44% of American adults can't read at or above a basic level. But there's a reason why ultra successful people read on a daily basis, and it's even more important if you're not successful yet. Wealthy people read because it allows them to acquire new skills that's gonna explode their impact, and then that's gonna explode their finances. Somebody once asked Warren Buffett about his secret to success, and he pointed to a bookshelf that was behind him and he said, read 500 pages like this every day. That's how it works. It builds up like compound interest. All of you can do it, but I guarantee not many of you will. And even though I'm sitting here telling you exactly how important it is that you read, I guarantee that most of you still aren't gonna do it. Some would say that if you wanna hide something from somebody, then put it in a book, because most people don't read, so they're never gonna find it. And that should offend the hell out of you. And as I said, it's even more important to read if you're not successful yet, because reading is one of the only ways that you can generate or secure knowledge from people that you're just not successful enough yet to sit down with. Now, I can't just make a phone call and invite 50 Cent to a lunch and sit down and ask him how to maximize my hustle. But I can certainly read his book, and that's gonna pretty much tell me everything that I need to know right from his own words. And likewise, I can't just call up Eric Ries and ask him how to build a startup, but I can spend $19.99 and find out all his secrets right here in this book. If you aren't regularly reading already, then just start with 10 minutes a day, because that's a lot better than nothing. And I promise you that those little 10 minutes are eventually gonna turn into 30 minutes, and then into an hour, and then into 2 hours, because you're gonna be learning so much that you're not gonna wanna put the book down. Now, personally, I try to read at least 4 books per month. And over the last 10 years, I guarantee that I've at least quadrupled my knowledge. And I've definitely quadrupled my income. And before you ask, no, audiobooks are not the same. Audiobooks are a great complement to reading, but it's certainly not a replacement the way that they market it out to be. Because there's just something about having that book in your hands and flipping through those pages that makes a real book hit way differently than an audiobook. And I know that osmosis doesn't work this way, but I almost feel like I'm becoming smarter just by holding this book in my hand right now. And then in addition to reading, taking online courses is a great way to up your skills, up your knowledge, and to maximize your income. Over the last several years, I've probably completed at least 50 different courses on various skills. I've taken courses on Google Ads, for instance, which allowed me to maximize my marketing budget and acquire more customers. I've taken Photoshop courses so that I can learn graphic design, and that way I can get things done quickly without having to wait on my designers to finish. I've even taken video editing courses to allow me to create the video that you're watching right now. And every single time that I learned a new skill and then applied it, well, my income went up. And I guarantee you that that's not any coincidence. Another great habit that you should adopt is subscribing to this channel and liking this video, because we launch new videos every single week telling you how to grow your business and maximize your income. Really, what are you waiting for? Just hit the goddamn button already. But seriously, the second habit that you should adopt if you want to level up to the 6 figures is to learn how to sell. If you're going to get a 6-figure income, you're going to have to learn how to sell something. Either you're going to be pitching a new product or a new service as an entrepreneur, or you're going to be pitching yourself to your boss to tell him why you deserve that raise. Or at some point, you're going to be pitching yourself to a new employer that pays the salary that you're looking for. Now, I'm not talking about being one of those guys at the used car dealership with the cheap suit on that's going to use all that slick talk to try to convince you that you should spend $800 a month on a $2,000 Ford Taurus. That's not sales, that's manipulation. But one of the major factors that allowed me to go from a $50,000 income working in an office to a 6-figure income as an entrepreneur is learning how to identify challenges and finding the solutions to them. And really, that's the core of sales, to figure out what it is that's troubling my clients and convincing them that I know how to fix that problem for them. And believe it or not, my first foray into selling came from this book right here, How I Raised Myself from Failure to Success in Selling by Frank Bettger. All of the hundreds of sales that I've made over the years all started with this book. And if it feels like I'm trying to hammer in the importance of reading into your brain, well, I am, because that shit works. And because I would have never been able to get this information from Frank Bettger himself because he died 5 years before I was born. Anyway, if you can figure out how to solve more problems and then convince people that you have the solution, whether that's at your job or in your business, then you'll quickly raise your income potential, which will give you the opportunity to raise your income up as well. The third habit that you're gonna have to form is the habit of learning how to trust other people. And no, I'm not talking about trusting everybody, because I damn sure don't trust most people. But I'm talking about having an unwavering trust in your team. And if you don't have a team right now, then shit, you need to go build one ASAP. And I'm not necessarily talking about a business team or an operations team, but you need to have a success team that's around you. And these should be people who are already making 6 figures, or they should be people who are actively committed to doing the work necessary to getting there. And by actively, I mean that they're doing more than just talking about it. These are people that are willing to take the same steps that you're taking. Reading, learning, taking courses, trying new things, going through trial and error, and doing whatever else it takes to level up their finances. I used to consider myself to be a lone wolf. And when I was working in an office, I hated being on teams. There was all of those useless meetings, and then you had to wait on everybody else to get their part done in order to complete a project. I hated that shit, and it's kind of giving me anxiety just thinking about it again. And then when I first started working on my own, I did so as a freelancer, which means I did all of the work myself. And to be honest, I made okay money. But when I started involving other people in the process, that's when things really took off for me. First, I started off by putting together this little success group with a couple guys that I used to go to college with. And honestly, I don't think that I ever would have reached a 6-figure income if I never started this group. We would read and swap books, and then we'd have a weekly meeting where everybody would talk about what they learned from whatever they were reading that week. So whenever I read one book, it really felt like I was reading 5 or 6 books, because that next week I'll be able to get all the highlights from everybody else from all the other books that they were reading. And then when any of the other members had some income generation opportunity, they would share it with the rest of us. And every week they told us about their actions and results from the prior week. So we knew exactly what was working and exactly what wasn't working. And then there was like this silent competition that was taking place. When one person had a win, it would inspire everybody else to win too. And it also made all of us want to win at least a little bit more than that top person, because really we wanted to be the top earner in the group. Call it petty or whatever you want to call it, but within 1 year of starting that group, every single person in the group was making 6 figures. Now, if you're going into business as an entrepreneur, then building a team around you in a business sense is important as well. And once you hire people, you have to learn how to trust them too. And that can be pretty tough. It took me a long time to learn how to trust people on my own team, because I used to hire people and then give them some type of task. And 9 times out of 10, when they submitted it back, it wouldn't be what I was expecting. So instead of telling them how to fix it, I would just jump in and do the work myself. But I eventually realized that I had to let them make mistakes, tell them what to do to fix it, and then over time, they learned what to do to meet my expectation. And every time I went through this process of teaching or training somebody to do what I needed them to do, I made more money. When I built relationships with developers, I started selling websites and applications. When I built relationships with graphic designers, I was able to create add-ons to my existing services, and those made me more money. But the real change came when I was able to duplicate myself for those tasks that I was doing repetitively every single day. And it wasn't easy at all. But when I learned how to do it and then I did that process a few times, well, that made my income skyrocket. The fourth habit that you need to adopt is speaking positively. And I know that you probably think that this is some hippy bippy bullshit, but I promise you that it's a difference maker when it comes to earning more income. Speaking positively about yourself and about your situation, that makes you believe that you actually can achieve a six-figure income. It proves to yourself that you actually believe in yourself. And I believe in you too, because you have exactly what it takes to earn a six-figure income. You just have to shift a few things and build some new habits that you didn't have before. Getting to the next financial level, that's gonna require extreme focus, and it's gonna require a lot of your energy. You can't carry around these negative thoughts all day and dwell on them all day while you're in the process of trying to level up your finances. It just doesn't work that way. The places that you put your focus and your energy, that's where you're gonna see growth. If you're constantly focused on the problems in your life, all you're gonna do is multiply them. Likewise, if you're fully focused on growing your income, then you're gonna see that multiply. Positive affirmations, they build up your self-confidence. And you're gonna need self-confidence to start that business, or to start investing, or to sit down with your boss and tell him why it is that you deserve more money. At this point in my life, I know what value I bring to the table. I know what my skills are and I know what I'm worth. But in the beginning, it wasn't that way. I would have to force myself to look in the mirror and say, Mike, you're worthy of more. Or Mike, you have everything that it takes to do what it is that you want to do. I had to force myself to say those things, and I didn't even really believe them when I said it. Now, I'm not saying that you should go out there and tell everybody how great you are, but I am saying that you need to constantly tell yourself that you're at least as great and as capable as everybody else. If you have to set an alarm and force yourself in front of the mirror to say those things every morning, then do that, and do it again and again until you believe it. Do it until it becomes a part of you and a part of your life. Because when you believe in you, other people will believe in you too. The fifth habit you need to adopt is the habit of making constant progression on your goals. Let me be real here for a second. Financial success isn't all about knowledge and working hard. There is some luck involved in this process too, and there is some being at the right place at the right time involved here. However, you only end up in the right place if you're prepared at the right time. If LeBron James wasn't this amazing high school basketball player, it wouldn't have mattered if he had 100 opportunities to play in front of NBA recruiters. If he didn't spend years and years and years perfecting his craft, then having the opportunity wouldn't have even mattered. He would have just blown it anyway. He could have had 1,000 opportunities to play in front of recruiters, but if he wasn't ready for those opportunities, he would have just wasted them. Louis Pasteur, who was a French scientist, he once said, "Luck favors the prepared." In other words, you're a lot more likely to get lucky when you've done the work to actually deserve it. You can read, you can trust your team, you can take courses, you can do all of that stuff. But if you don't do the hard work that's necessary, then you're still not gonna win. If you're sitting at work right now, bored, scrolling through YouTube, then take this time to go figure out what challenges your company is facing and see if you can find solutions to those problems for them. If you're staying proactive, people are gonna notice. If there are different opportunities at your job for you to sit up under a mentor or to take some type of training for a skill that you don't know, your hand should be the first one that's raised. If you're an entrepreneur, this means that you should be getting up every day and doing whatever it takes to get to your goal. Whether that's taking different courses so that you can increase your skills, whether that's networking with partners, or whether that's going out there and trying to find clients. Whatever it takes, that's what you should be doing every single day. No excuses and no questions asked. Because if you're waiting for your ship to come in, I have some real bad news for you. That shit ain't coming. You could try to swim, you could try to build a raft, you could even go and buy a cruise ticket. But if you're just sitting on the shore hoping that somebody's gonna pull up and save you, you're gonna be stuck in the same spot forever. Now look, 15 years ago, I was somebody who always talked about wanting to be a financial success. But outside of just going to work every day, there was nothing that I was really doing to make that actually happen. The day that I decided that I would do whatever work was necessary every single day until I got to my goal, that's when the wheels started turning. And when I first started my business, I committed to working between 10 to 12 hours every single day, no matter what. That included weekends, that included holidays, and it didn't matter if I had clients or if I didn't have clients. If I didn't have clients, I would do whatever I needed to do to get my business to the next level. Whether that was coming up with new strategy, whether that was talking to clients through email, no matter what it was that I needed to do, that's what I went and did every single day. And really, I still do that today. But now it's not because I don't have many clients, it's because I have a team that I've built around me so that they can do that kind of work and I can work on the business instead of working in the business. The truth is, you can reach 6 figures. Honestly, you can reach 7 figures too. You're already smarter than a lot of people who are making millions and billions of dollars every year. And if you don't believe me when I say that, well, you will after you watch this video right here. I hope you enjoyed this video and I'll see you in the next one. Until then, take care and keep doing amazing shit.